Welcome to the Franklin Boulevard Historic District of Pontiac, where history comes to life. Join us as we take a stroll down memory lane and discover the hidden treasures of this charming neighborhood. From stunning architecture to fascinating stories of the past, this is a journey that you're not going to want to miss. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the heart and the soul of Pontiac's rich history together. But before we get started, I've totally got to drop in this quick intro, and maybe while I'm doing that, you guys could give my channel a quick subscribe. Alright, enough of that. Let's get started already. The Franklin Boulevard Historic District was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1983 and holds a significant place in the city, county, and state's historical growth and development. The oldest structure in the district is the Sibley-Hoyt House, which started as a company farm and frame cabin in 1819 or 1820 and is located at 146 West Lawrence Street. Residential development in Pontiac initially spread west in 1835 to Lawrence and William Streets, where George M. Williams platted lots in the area. In 1886, Henry Clay Ward platted Franklin Boulevard and Mary Day and Henry Clay Avenues. Lots in this area were sold and developed at different times, resulting in a mix of architectural styles throughout the district. The heart of the district along Franklin Boulevard features large lots with large detached single-family houses of 2.5 to 3 stories. The streetscape is unified by a consistent 60-foot setback from the street, while there is a mix of architectural styles and materials. On the adjacent Mary Day and Henry Clay Avenues, the houses are smaller in scale and on smaller lots, but are also unified by their consistent setback and similar massing. The eastern portion of the district was developed earlier, and the houses are generally older. The structures on West Huron Street and William Street are placed on very large lots with substantial open space between them. The structures on West Lawrence Street are generally smaller, from 1.5 to 2.5 stories high and on smaller lots. Now, let's talk about some of the neighborhood's historic landmarks. First off, the Myrick-Palmer House, a historic single-family home located at 223 West Huron Street in Pontiac. This house has an interesting history and unique architecture, making it a must-see for anyone interested in local history. The Myrick-Palmer House was likely built in the 1850s for Frederick C. Merrick, who moved to Pontiac sometime after 1851. However, Merrick passed away in 1860, and the house was later sold to Charles Palmer in 1862. Palmer, a New York State native, was a well-educated man who served as a principal for various schools in the East and even worked in mining. He retired in 1875 and lived in the house until his death in 1887. The Palmer House is a timber-framed Italian villa-style 2-story house with an L-shaped rear service wing. The walls are clad with flush siding, which is a unique feature in Michigan architecture. The house is a hip roof supported with paired brackets and small decorative balconies around many of the windows. In the center of the roof is a large flat-roofed cupola, which was destroyed in a fire in 1930 and later rebuilt. Inside the Myrick-Palmer House, a center entrance hall runs through the building and opens onto a parlor and 2 smaller rooms. There are also 3 bedrooms on the second floor. The interior of the house features unique woodwork and architectural details that are characteristic of the Italian villa style. The Myrick-Palmer House is a fascinating piece of local history in Pontiac. It has an interesting past and unique architecture that make it a must-see for anyone interested in historical homes. Up next, we'll be exploring the fascinating history of the Sibley-Hoyt House in Pontiac. The Sibley-Hoyt House is a historic house that is centered around a frame cabin dating back to 1820, making it one of the first structures in Pontiac. The cabin was built by Solomon and Sarah Sibley, one of the founders of Pontiac, and is also the oldest house in the county. The Sibley-Hoyt House is located at 146 West Lawrence Street within the Franklin Boulevard Historic District. The original cabin was built on a cellar, measuring 18 feet by 20 feet, and had an original chimney and blue glass windows that were moved to the outside wall. It was used for lodging for Judge Sibley when he was in town, as well as for farmers and workers who needed a place to stay while building their own homes or working on building projects. The 10-acre site provided ample land for growing crops and keeping livestock. Over time, the cabin was added onto and expanded, with early additions made across the north and the west sides. The front portion of the current house dates back to 1840 and was a separate house that was moved in 1866 or 1867 during Hoyt's ownership. There were additions made to the building that include a bathroom, a dining room, and a fireplace during the 19th century. The front porch was likely widened at this time. A side porch of Victorian style was also added on the east side with a side door that entered onto it. A screen porch off the back of the house was the last addition, and that appears to be from the 1950s or 1960s. The Sibley-Hoyt House has a rich history, having been owned by several important figures in Pontiac's past. It was originally owned by Solomon and Sarah Sibley, who were responsible for financing the settlement at Pontiac and the creation of the Pontiac Company. The cabin was later sold to William Thompson, Francis Darrow, and Abel Peck, before being repurchased by Francis Darrow and eventually sold to Professor George Hoyt in 1863. The Hoyt family occupied the house for 111 years, ending with the daughter Georgia in 1974. In 1986, the house was purchased by Ronald Gay, who conducted extensive research to uncover the true history of the house. In November 2004, the Hoyt House was officially renamed the Sibley-Hoyt House. The Sibley-Hoyt House is a fascinating piece of history that showcases the early days of Pontiac and the people who helped build the town. Continuing down West Lawrence, we have the First Church of Christ Scientists, located at 164 West Lawrence Street. The church is a Greek Revival structure with a double portico facing both Williams and West Lawrence Streets. The building was originally a house belonging to Edwin C. Smith, which was rumored to have been built in 1837. The church purchased it in the 1920s and remodeled the original section of the home into a foyer and added an auditorium. First services were held on Sunday, April 2nd, 1922, with a capacity attendance. At the time the church was built, space was provided under the auditorium for a Sunday school room to be finished at a later period. This part of the plan was completed during the winter of 1933-1934 with funds that were contributed almost entirely by the Sunday school children and saved over a period of several years. The church is currently owned by an acquaintance of mine and is rumored to be up for grabs for the right price, which I hear is roughly $420,000. Let me know if you're interested. And just across the street, you'll find our next landmark, the Pontiac Creative Arts Center, located at 47 William Street. This building was originally the Pontiac City Library, built in 1898 by the Ladies Library Association. In 1924, the association turned the library over to the city of Pontiac, and when the library moved in the 1950s, this building became the city's art center. Since 1964, the Pontiac Creative Arts Center, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, has continued its mission of cultivating arts and culture in the community through exhibition, education, and outreach. Ongoing exhibits are presented, workshops and classes are offered, and various community events are held throughout the year. Youth, adult, and special programming keep the PCAC an active art hub in Pontiac and Southeast Michigan. In 2018, the PCAC averaged 800 visitors per month, with classes in drawing, painting, sculpture, wood turning, dance, drumming, and ceramics. Now we'll move on over to Franklin Boulevard to check out the Jacobs House, located at 99 Franklin Boulevard. The Jacobs House is the oldest building on Franklin. The house was built in 1886 by banker Frank G. Jacobs and was the very first home built on Franklin Boulevard. It is generally Queen Anne in style with a large L-shaped front veranda and two small balconies on the second floor. The home is currently a multifamily home and is an absolute must-see. Just next door, we've got the O.J. Beaudette House, located at 87 Franklin Boulevard. The home was built in 1914 by carriage maker Oliver Joseph Bedette. Bedette's company was one of Pontiac's largest employers at the turn of the century, and continued to be so as the firm gradually switched to making automobile bodies. The home has been home to the Theta Chi fraternity since 1981. Off to the McCall House at 72 Franklin Boulevard. The McCall House was built in 1889 by businessman F.E. McCall. This house is Queen Anne in style with a projecting angled box bay at the southeast corner. The home is truly a remarkable piece of history, boasting over 5,000 square feet of living space. The home sold to an investor acquaintance of mine several years ago who is currently looking to either re-rent or sell the home. I've heard it could be yours for all of, say, $500,000. Let me know if you're interested. We should probably talk about my favorite home in the district now, the Leo Beaudette House, located at 269 West Huron Street. This incredible home was built in 1917 for Oliver Leo Beaudette. The home was formerly owned by the YWCA and later sold to the Birches, who have restored the mansion and have lived there happily for many years. This absolute masterpiece boasts over 7,000 square feet of living space, has 6 bedrooms, 4.3 bathrooms, and a remarkable 3-car garage. But let's not forget about these last few noteworthy homes. We've got the Murphy House Bed and Breakfast, located at 28 Franklin Boulevard. We've got the William L. Day House, located at 22 Franklin Boulevard. And we've got the Heltsch House, located at 75 Mary Day Avenue. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey through the Franklin Boulevard Historic District of Pontiac, Michigan. As we have seen, this neighborhood is a treasure trove of architectural and cultural heritage, providing a glimpse into the past and a promising future. As we continue to celebrate and preserve these historic homes, let us also remember the people who lived here and their contributions to the community. Together, we can ensure that the Franklin Boulevard Historic District remains a vibrant and a thriving part of Pontiac for generations to come. I hope that this video has inspired you to take a closer look at the history behind Pontiac. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Pontiac, I can totally help. Just give me a call. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!